Attention, the following broadcast has been approved by Outcasted OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Friday Night Smackdown review. You are here with G from the Outcasted OC and we are going to go over the key points and important things that happened on Smackdown this week. First off, we are going to welcome back Corey Graves to the commentary team. He has just finished his paternity leave as Carlito gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby boy. Congratulations to them both again. But yeah, Corey Graves is back with us this week. So first we start off with an entrance from Becky, Charlotte, Bianca and Shotzi. They all make their way down to the ring. Becky starts talking about how she's here on Friday Night Smackdown and it's been a while since she's been to Friday Night Smackdown, but she's happy to be here. Bianca starts talking about how they are the strongest team for War Games, they are ready for War Games and they are ready to take down Damage Control. As Becky said, she's here to fight and take down Damage Control. Shotzi cuts in then and she starts talking a bit psycho, like how Damage Control completely like destroyed her when they cut her hair off, but she's like, they didn't destroy me, they just made me stronger, etc, etc. And she's obviously out for revenge on them for what they did to her. Bayley cuts and makes her entrance, interrupting between the people talking from Bianca's team. She comes down, she starts talking and she's causing some tension between Becky and Charlotte about how they haven't worked together in a while, how they aren't like allies anymore but they need to be, but she's not sure how they're going to work together in this match to defeat and take down Damage Control. She's picking on Becky and saying like, you were last resort, you were the last person they picked, how do you feel about being a last resort? You know, you're not on top, you're not the first pick anymore. Becky's like, I don't care about being the last pick. She's like, I came here looking for a fight and this is what I'm here for. I'm here for a fight. I came here to fight, not to be like, I don't know what the word is, but not to be like make friends and keep allies and things like that. And she's like, so I'm here for a fight, so how about two of yours take on two of ours tonight in the main event of Smackdown? And that sets up then a tag team match for the main event. But we know we've got Becky and Charlotte, but we don't know who we've got from Damage Control's side yet. It skips to a backstage segment of the whole of Damage Control and Bayley's like, oh, did you see what I did back there? Setting up the match, and she's like, how about we go Asuka and Kairi, you know, Kabuki Warriors going at it again, or what about Asuka and Io, not something we've seen much. And Dakota butts in and Io says something and then Dakota's like, well, Io thinks you should be one of them, Bayley, because you are the one that set it up, you are the one that has like agreed to it. And then she's like, Io thinks you should go with Asuka, and Bayley's like, me? And Asuka's like, yeah, nobody's ready for us. And that caused a little bit of a tension with Bayley and Damage Control, but who knows what way this story is going to end up going. So we move on to our first match of the night, which is Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Finn Balor and Damian Priest, versus the Street Profits for the Undisputed Tag Team belts. We start with Angelo Dawkins and Damian Priest in the ring. Very quickly, Finn gets tagged in. Yeah, so the Street Profits then team up and take down Finn Balor very quickly. We then see backstage Bobby Lashley is watching with B-Fab at his side. I'm really curious to see where this is going because we've been teased for a couple of weeks now, B-Fab talking to Bobby Lashley, but nothing's actually happened yet. So I'm really curious to see where this is going to go. Montez throws Finn out of the ring. He goes over the ropes and hits Finn down onto the floor, taking him out. Damian comes rushing around the ring though and literally picks Montez and throws him into the announce table. Dawkins gets back in the ring now Dawkins gets Finn up onto his shoulders, stands in front of Montez Ford, who is on top rope. They do a blockbuster. Montez goes to pin. Montez goes to pin Finn, but Finn kicks out. So then we have a bit of back and forth, and then a bit later in the match, Montez kicks Damian down with a super kick, goes up to the top ropes as if he's going to do like a frog splash or something onto Damian, but Rhea jumps up on the ringside, distracts the ref. Finn gets up off the side of the apron, grabs Montez's leg and pulls him down off the top rope, all while the ref is distracted, so the ref's not seeing any of this. Damian slams Montez down into the ring, Finn jumps up on the top, hits the coup de grace, he pins Montez to win the match. So we still have our undisputed tag champions of Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Okay, so we move on to a backstage segment now of the Bianca's team. So we've got Becky, Bianca and Shotzi stood talking. Charlotte comes in and she's like, oh, I just spoke to Nick Aldis and Pierce to make sure you're okay to compete tonight, Becky. And Becky's like, why did you do that for? I can do that. I am capable of going and doing that myself. It's me who's competing. I'm sure I can do that. And Charlotte's like, I just want to plan. I just want to be ready. And there's a bit of tension between the two. And Bianca's like, yo, we need to keep our head game for tonight. But there is a lot of tension there. A lot of tension. So next we are set up with a Grayson Waller effect. Grayson is in the ring and he says he has a returning guest of Kevin Owens. So when I was watching this live, I was so ecstatic. I was like, oh, Kevin Owens is back from suspension. Oh my God. Because I am a very, very, very big Kevin Owens fan. And then when Theory walks out, I was like, you have to be kidding me. I was so angry at Grayson Waller in this moment. Like, I should have seen it coming, but I was so angry. And then as like Austin Theory, he's got like Kevin's gear on. He walks down to the ring, he sits down and Austin Theory's like, oh, Kevin, you look a bit better this week. I don't know. And then Kevin Owens' music hits again and it's actually Kevin Owens and I get so excited and I'm just like, yes, he's actually here, he's actually back. And Kevin Owens is like, what are you guys doing? What's going on? I'm supposed to be the guest on this show. And Theory's like, whoa. No, Grayson's like, whoa, you can't be here, you're suspended. And Kevin Owens like, but my suspension has ended today. Today is the day of my suspension ending. And he was like, I thought you called me out last week to be on a guest on your show so that we could shake it off and make things better. But you've got Theory here. And he's like, I'm supposed to be the person on your guest. I'm supposed to be your guest. And they just like taking the mick out of Kevin Owens. They're really like ripping into him like you were suspended and stuff. And then they start talking about their match with LA Knight, and Kevin Owens is like, you know what happens when you said somebody's name too many times? And they're like, what? LA Knight. LA Knight appears. Yeah. So LA Knight comes out and he's like, you guys have been talking about Kevin Owens, taking the mick out of him, thinking you could get away with it, but you guys got caught. Then you brought me into the situation and you started talking about me, and you got caught again. And they literally go back and forth with a little promo. LA Knight's literally ripping into Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And then Kevin Owens is like, I want to punch you both in the face. And then Grayson and Austin Theory are like, maybe we should punch them both in the face at the same time. And they're looking at each other. And Kevin Owens looks at LA Knight and goes, should we punch him first? And they literally punch him, kick him out of the ring, and then they literally tear down and destroy the whole of Grayson Waller's like setup. I literally saw Kevin Owens pick up the plant, throw it over the ring, and the whole pot just like broke. So the match starts with, we have moved into a match now of Kevin Owens and LA Knight versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So the match starts with Kevin Owens and Grayson Waller. Kevin Owens is very in control, multiple punches, multiple kicks to Grayson Waller, not giving him much chance to move. Kevin very quickly tags in LA Knight, and LA Knight's going in on Grayson Waller. He's not giving him a chance to counter, like, at all. No counters happening here. LA Knight is in full control. Yeah. So they end up outside the ring and LA Knight's taking Grayson Waller's head and bouncing it off the announce table. Austin Theory comes in the other side. LA Knight grabs both their heads and he's like bouncing them off the announce table. At this point, Kevin Owens is coming round. He hits a clothesline off both of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, knocking them both out. Back up in the ring, Kevin Owens manages to hit a swanton bomb off the top rope to pin Grayson Waller, but Grayson Waller manages to kick out. Theory hits a backbreaker to Kevin Owens. Waller comes off the top rope down onto Kevin Owens, pins Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens manages to kick out. Theory goes for a rolling backbuster on Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens manages to kick out again. Constant kick outs, constant back and forth from all four guys. It was a really good tag match. I really enjoyed. I love watching Kevin Owens anyway. I love LA Knight. I really like Grayson Waller and Austin Theory together as well. I wasn't much of a fan of Austin Theory on his own, but them together, they blend and work so well as a tag team. Eventually though, KO hits the stunner on Waller. LA Knight hits the BFT on Austin Theory, pinning Austin Theory to win the match. So Kevin Owens and LA Knight win that match. Right, so we move on to another backstage segment of Becky and Bianca, where Bianca is like, Charlotte was right, you chose to come here and help us. Charlotte and you need to put your differences beside each other. We need to work together. We need to win this War Games match. And Becky's like, I'm good, I'm cool, I'm fiery, I'm Irish, I came here to fight, but I'm cool, I'm good, I'm ready. So next we are greeted by Carlito walking down to the ring. So he's ready to cut a promo about his match with Santos Escobar at Survivor Series later this evening. He says this will be his first competitor in a PLE in 13 years in WWE. So it's his first time competing in 13 years in WWE at a PLE. I just like completely reworded that and it made no sense whatsoever. But anyway, but all he can think about is the way that Rey was injured last week by Santos Escobar, and he wants to seek revenge for the LWO, revenge for Rey Mysterio, as he's now out on injury and should not be, and he's ready to take Santos down. Santos actually comes out then and he's talking about the LWO being his family, and if Carlito never got involved, then the LWO would still be his family, would still be beside him, Rey wouldn't be injured and everything would be okay. And how Carlito isn't representing the LWO, he doesn't wear their colours, he doesn't have the LWO tattoo. And then he blames Carlito for Rey Mysterio's current injury. He's like, Rey's only injured because of you. The LWO is only falling apart because of you. At this point, Carlito's thrown his microphone and he's getting ready to fight because Santos looks like he's going to come for a fight. They do end up in a brawl against each other. Carlito actually has control of the whole thing down on the floor. He's literally going for Santos. At this point then, he's thrown Santos into multiple barricades. He's punched him a few times. The refs, Nick Aldis, they're all running down to break this up. They manage to break it up and Santos walks away. They've literally got Carlito just stood there. However, as Santos walks up the runway, the walkway, he manages to go round, come back through the crowd and jumps over the barricade, sneak attacks Carlito from behind, punching him down to the ground. And Carlito's holding his arm. He looks like he's in a lot of pain and he's really been hit. That kind of ends there. And Santos walks away, but then we see Carlito walking with a couple of people backstage, holding his shoulder, and out of nowhere Santos comes again and starts like going at Carlito, hitting him. Out of nowhere, Dragon Lee appears and he starts going for Santos in helping Carlito and the LWO. So he's obviously not happy with what's happened, but he comes to Carlito's rescue and takes down Santos. Okay, we move on to our next match of the evening, which is another tag match. This is pretty deadly. Kit Wilson and Elton Prince versus the Brawling Brutes of Ridge Holland and Butch. It is fight night. I am super excited for whenever Sheamus decides to return because I miss Sheamus and I love him so much. So we start with Kit Wilson and Ridge. There is a couple of punches to both. They go for a little bit. Both tag in their teammates very quickly. Butch and Elton Prince are in. They go to do the 10 chest punches to both of them on the side, Kit and Elton, but they only manage to hit about 6. And then something happens between like Butch and Ridge walks out the arena. He's gone. He doesn't want to be involved at all, which leaves Butch in a really awkward situation. So it's a 2-on-1. Butch has been left alone. He does put up a good fight against Kit and Elton Prince though. So they do go back and forth. Butch did put up a bit of a good fight, but in the end, Elton sneaks behind Butch and rolls up and pins him. So that's how that one ended. It was a very short match, but I feel like there's a bit of tension and feud-y things coming between the Brawling Brutes. I'm not sure where this is going to go. Anyway, next we are backstage with Kayla, who introduces Nick Aldis. And Nick Aldis is like, oh, so Carlito has been injured this evening. He is not fit to compete tomorrow. He is not going to compete tomorrow. So I'm going to have to postpone Carlito and Santos Escobar's match at Survivor Series. And then Dragon Lee enters and he's like, please don't suspend the match, Nick. Please don't suspend the match. I will do this. And he's like, you want in? You want in? And Dragon's like, yes, I want in. So we now have a new match at Survivor Series, which is Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee. Yeah, let's see where that one goes. Okay, so we move on to our main event for the evening. We quickly see Becky and Charlotte talk to each other backstage before the match starts. Becky goes, I'm good. You good? And Charlotte goes, I'm good. You good? I'm good. And they both just go, I'm good. And they're like, good. And then walk off. So we have the entrance of Becky. Damage Control come out first. And then Becky and Charlotte, Bianca and Shotzi. Becky and Charlotte do the little pinky promise thing before the match starts, and it was the cutest thing ever. But I just wish those guys would work out their differences. It was phenomenal. A women's main event match, what we always ask for. 3 of the 4 horsewomen in a main event match as well. We haven't seen something like that in a long time, and I was so here for it. Anyway, okay, so we start with Becky and Bayley. Becky goes straight in for that Bexploder, looking for that quick pin, but Bayley manages to roll out of the ring before Becky even manages to attempt a pin. Asuka comes round to check on Bayley. Obviously she's just been like hurt, and Charlotte gets up on the top rope as Becky goes to like punch Asuka and does a moonsault over onto Asuka and Bayley. So we then go back into the ring and we are on Asuka and Becky in ring. Asuka gets Becky in some kind of an arm lock so that she can't move. Becky's desperately trying to tag in Charlotte, but Asuka will not let her go over that side of the ring to get any kind of a tag in. Asuka then tags Bayley in as Becky manages to move out of the move. Both Bayley and Asuka stop Becky from going anywhere near Charlotte to make that tag, but she actually eventually makes the tag. There's a lot of back and forth between Charlotte and Bayley for a while. Asuka taps Bayley on the back shoulder. Obviously Charlotte hasn't seen this, so Asuka has tagged herself in. She comes in and does a code breaker to Charlotte. So the match then carries on with a bit of back and forth. Becky is then tagged in. She kicks Bayley. She kicks Asuka. She punches Asuka. She punches Bayley. She gets them both in like a headlock and does a double DDT to them. She attempts to pin Bayley, but Bayley kicks out. So Becky then gets Bayley, or attempts to get Bayley in a disarmer, but Asuka kicks Becky in the back of the head, knocking her out of the way and releasing Bayley from the disarmer. Becky goes in for a man-hand slam to Bayley. Asuka is jumping in the ring because Becky's attempting to pin Bayley at this point. To stop it, Charlotte spears Asuka into Becky, allowing Bayley to like move, which has like completely voided the pin. And the face on Becky that Charlotte has done this. Becky would have won the match. That would have been it. Becky would have won the match. At this point, Becky's getting up and she's saying something to Charlotte, like really angrily, and we can't hear what she's saying. But she's obviously very angry at what Charlotte has just done. Obviously, it was an accident and it wasn't intentional. At this point, Bayley punches Becky from behind and then rolls her up to pin and win the match. The tension between them, I can't. At this point then, Damage Control have kind of walked off. They're doing their victory walk up the little walkway, and we've got Charlotte and Becky like staring each other down, saying things to each other. We can't hear what they're saying. Then Shotzi and Bianca come into the ring and they're like trying to calm them down. Becky walks off and Bianca's left stood talking to Charlotte. The tension between them, I don't know if this is going to cost them the match tomorrow evening, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see. So yeah, it was a pretty good SmackDown episode this week. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. But that is everything for this week. The Outcasted gang will be live tonight on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, with a Survivor Series watch along. All of us will be there, Ross, Courtney, Reese and myself. So if you want to come and check that out, please do. Also, I will be live on TikTok at the same time. But yeah, I hope everybody's super excited for Survivor Series and we can't wait to watch it with you guys. So make sure you follow our socials, check us out, and we'll catch you for the next one. Bye guys!